What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another part of the Building a Game with Gemini series. Now, let's get back into the game building process. So, first things first, let's take a look at where we left off in the last video. This is our game so far. So, we got our players, our tile look much nicer, our spike looks much nicer. Our coins look much nicer, but they're no longer coins, they're now oranges. Our enemy looks much nicer. And our goalpost looks like the trophy we all deserve. So let's get back to building this thing out further. And I'm gonna open Gemini back up. All right, so a few things we may want to cover in this video. Let me just open a notepad and lay it out. So maybe add a background. Fix getting stuck at the edge. And what I mean by this is if you go back to the game and hit play, and if you get stuck at the edge, it doesn't fall like this. So if I'm holding the right button here, it's just gonna get stuck. We're not able to jump. So we just ideally want him to just drop instead of getting stuck. And right now I'm holding the right uh, button here, so D on my keyboard. And I can also just click on this. So if I hit jump, it falls, but see what happens. We don't want him stuck like this. We just want him to fall if this situation happens. So maybe add that to this part. And what else do I want to do? Maybe these two are good starting points. So let's go back to Gemini and let them know that we edited our prefab objects instead of the objects in our hierarchy. So let them know for each part. Gold coins swap, so all done. Gold coin art swap, replace the gold coin prefab with animated orange from our art. Use spike trap swap, replaced trap is the name of the prefab, I think. Let's go back and take a look. Spike trap, okay. Play spike trap prefab with uh spike art. 3 is patrol enemy replaced. What is it called? Patrol enemy prefab with prefab sprite, right? Sprite with patrol, or should I say ninja frog from our art. Also added animations to it. For the running animation is what I believe we created. Animations, Ninja Frog Run. Let's see. Ninja Frog underscore run. The anim. And for level goal swap, replaced level goal, added level goal to our prefab by dragging and dropping the goal from the hierarchy to our prefabs folder. Replace level goal placeholder sprite with checkpoints, right? So assets, prefabs. Yeah, so what did we use there? Art, items, checkpoints, and idle with checkpoint and trophy art. And let's draw some screenshots here. But before that, I'm gonna change the model to 3.1 Pro because Flash I think is just a generic one. So we're gonna switch models today to the Pro one, and this may not be available to free users maybe, or maybe you have like limited access. You can only do a certain number of prompts there. But we're going to use this model going forward for this project. And let's drop some screenshots to Gemini. All right, so here's one, and the other thing is going to be prefab. You know what I'm going to do in the prefab? I'm going to change the color to yellow of our. Again, this seems like some sort of a bug that's affecting the. Okay, never mind. You just gotta click OK. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna keep the Ninja Patrol guy orange because it looks like an enemy that way, but change the trophy to the yellow. All right, maybe I'll just have this selected. Ooh. And do the animations. The reason I deleted it is because the trophy was green, so I don't want Gemini to get confused there. Yes. Cool. Seeing the transition from sterile white box layout to fully animated pixel art environment is a massive milestone. The kind of before and after transformation is going to make fantastic visual showcase in your next devlog upload. Okay, cool. Now that the objects and ground terrain are completely swapped, there's one major visual placeholder left, a solid blue camera background, which is exactly what we were talking about earlier. So it's good that it caught on. Unlockable double jump we're gonna hold off for later. Let's get started on the background. So I believe we don't have the background imported. So art, do we have? Oh, okay, we do have background. Cool. So somehow we ended up importing it in one of the past videos if you want to look through it. Click on the back. Let's just follow these steps and oh yeah, let's do steps 1 through 4, and I'll just walk you through it. All right, so prep the background image for Unity. Just tile a sprite. We have to change one specific import settings. Navigate to our background folder. We're already there. Click on the background color we want to use, and I think I'll go with, hmm, I was hoping for some sort of a sky, but I guess we'll go with blue. All right, blue. In the inspector, we're gonna adjust our standard pixel art settings. So pixels per unit will be 64 because this is 64 by 64. So 64. All right. Filter mode is point. Compression is none. So filter mode point. Compression is none. Critical step. Look for the mesh type setting and change it from tight to full. Mesh type from tight to full rect. So this is what is critical. And if this is set to tight, the tiling feature won't work. So, but it didn't tell me to change the sprite mode to multiple. So we're just gonna leave it to single this time and click apply. Done. And now we're gonna add it to the scene. So drag the prepared background image from your project window directly into the hierarchy. So let's go back to the hierarchy, drag the background image. Are we dragging this one, this guy or this guy? I'll just drag this guy. See what happens. And rename it to background. So rename background. Okay. The inspector set its transform position to x0, y0, z0 already set. So x0, y0, z0. And it's perfectly centered in our world. Now, step 3, tile the image. Now we will stretch the image without warping pixels. On the background object, look at the sprite render component. Just this guy. Change the draw mode drop down from simple to tiled. So simple to tiled. Okay. 2 new boxes will appear. Width and height. Change them to something large. So width 30, height 20. Let's do width 30 or 30. Height should be 20. Nice. It actually does not look bad. All right. You'll see your background expand in the scene view, repeating the pattern perfectly, which is exactly what we are seeing. So that's great. Nice. Look at that. And push it behind everything. So right now the background might be covering your level or player. Doesn't look like it is. Okay. But let's go through the steps anyway. Still in the sprite renderer, look for order in layer. Order in layer. Set it to a low negative number like -10. This guarantees it renders behind your terrain, which is usually at 0, and your player. So let's just check our player. Player is, what were we? Sprite render. Oh yeah, this one's also at 0. So yeah, I think order it to -10. Done. Order in layer. And all done. So let's hit play and see what our level looks like. Okay, so yeah, we need to make it wider for sure to cover the whole level. So let's go back to the background and we'll make the height sorry, width. Height is fine here. Width should be, I don't know, cover everything. Let's do 100. Cool. Now let's just see our camera bounds covers it. Yep. So it looks good to me. A lot of empty space there, but it's fine. I think we can make it maybe a little bit shorter, or less wide. 60, 60. Nah, 60 is too not not enough. All right, cool. So now we should be good. Although the background is ugly and it kind of hurts my eyes. So I think we'll change it to something else, like a sky later. I'm thinking if I should do that now or leave it for later. Um, might wanna. I don't like any of these, to be honest with you. I want to leave it for later, though. We have the concepts down. We'll make things look better in a future video, or maybe later in this video. So background looks good for this video. And now the other thing I forgot to write down in a notepad is make gravity stronger. So now the thing I don't like is how weak the gravity is. If you jump, it like takes a long time to fall back down. I want it to be faster. I don't like it being so slow while falling. So let's go back to Gemini. Yes, the background filled the camera view completely as we run around the level. The thing I don't like is this. However, I do not like any of the background images we have, so I may want to change this to a sky later or now. Not sure. What do you recommend? The other things I wanted to fix are number one, increase pull of gravity. I think gravity is too low when I jump, falls slowly. Or low when I jump, the player falls kind of slowly. Number two, fix getting stuck at the edge. When you are at the edge of the what's it called? Tile map or something? Grid tile map, yeah. Okay, when you're at the edge of the tile map, if you hold on to the right or left buttons, you can just be stuck there. I want the player to slide down instead of being stuck. Attaching a screenshot so you know what I am talking about. Okay, so go back. Do I need this now? Okay, go back in there. Take a screenshot of the player getting stuck. All right, so uh-oh. No. No. Okay, let's try one more time. Slide chat. There we go. All right, so yeah, stuck. He's stuck there. Ooh. Let me know which order of these tasks make the most sense. All right, so Gemini recommends tackling the physics and movement bugs first and holding off on the background change just for a bit, and then talking about how we're documenting this on video. So, cool, yeah. Wall sticking issue is a classic Unity 2D problem, sounds like. So this happens because Unity's default physics engine applies friction to colliders. When Mass pushes sideways into a wall, the horizontal force creates friction against the vertical surface, which completely cancels out gravity and leaves them glued to the dirt blocks. So let's fix the wall sticking issue. Seems like a simple step. So let's just go through these in our project window. Go to our main assets folder and right click, select, create 2D physics material 2D. So physics material 2D. Name this zero friction. Click on zero's friction in the inspector. Change the friction value to 0. Okay. Now select your player object in the hierarchy. Player. All right. Find the capsule collider 2D component. Capsule collider 2D is right there. And drag your zero friction material into the material slot of the collider. Material is none, so let's just drag this to here. Zero friction. Now, whenever we jump against a wall and hold left or right, we should slide cleanly down to the floor without getting stuck. So let's, did any of that persist? I don't think it did. Looks like we had the game running, so go back in there. Yep, it did not persist, so let's do that again. So all we did is stop the game that was running and then click our player, drag the zero friction to our material, and let's hit play. Try that again, and it just slides right down. So try that one more time, slides right down. Cool, very cool. All right, exactly what we wanted, so that was very simple. Now let's do the other thing, which is increase the gravity. So Unity's default 2D gravity feels very floaty, almost like walking on the moon. Standard platforms usually crank this up to make jumps feel crisp and responsive. So select, let's just do these 4 steps. Select your player. Find the rigid body 2D component. So rigid body 2D is right here. And we're going to look for the gravity scale property. Gravity scale is set to 1. We're going to set this to 3 or 4. So let's start with 3. And let's see, our jump is supposed to be a lot worse this time. So let's see. Yeah, look at that. Our jump is now not that high at all. So yeah. How about 2? Let's try 2 and see if that feels a little bit better maybe because the gravity does feel kind of strong. Uh, rigid body 2D gravity scale 2. Let's try it out. Maybe slightly better, right? Maybe slightly better. Still not high enough, so we have to modify our player controller script. So reading this note, because gravity is not pulling mass through 3 to 4 times faster, our current jump force 9F is the value. won't lift him very high anymore, so we need to go into our player controller script component in the inspector and increase our jump force to something much higher, like 15 or 20 to compensate. So let's try it out. Let's just do it instead of waiting for Unity to tell us to do it. Just go to, or it kind of did, but instead of actually waiting for it to give us exact steps, we'll just do it ourselves. So don't care about your release notes here. Float jump force instead of 9F. Let's try 20F. Save this. Go back to Unity. Wait for it to compile. All done and compiled. So let's hit play. See how it feels. Oh, what the hell? Oh, the scale. I was like, why is it zooming in? Let's try it out. Okay, still, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. Not bad, but we honestly, did it really do anything here? Let's go down to the script. Uh, player controller script. Jump force is still set to 9 here, so I don't know what exactly happened. Jump force, jump force. So yeah, let's copy and paste this script. I'm just gonna copy the whole thing over to Gemini. I wonder if this is happening because we manually modify the jump force in one of the prior videos? Might be the cause of this issue we're having. Any way to refresh this? Reset. Let's try resetting and see what happens. Okay. And we can always undo the change if it's messed up. So reset. Okay, so that takes us back to 20, or back to or to 20 from our script. But also, I just noticed that ground check kind of got modified also. So what was it before ground check transform? Ground check transform. What is that from? Ground check transform. Is it this guy right here? Let's see. Yep, I think it is. I don't exactly remember what it does, so it probably just checks for the ground, like where the ground is, right? So anyway, so we're gonna do a bunch of Control Z until our script resets back to 20. What do we just do now? You know what? I'm gonna redo it and then reset. Okay, so redo. Everything looks good. Ground check. So let's do the reset and then drag it back there. And we're gonna see what happens if we don't drag the ground check back there, just out of curiosity. Yeah, no longer jumps. Right? The jump doesn't work. So let's drag the ground check back to our player ground check. Player controller ground check. So here, ground checkpoint, and hit play. And ooh, it's no longer jumping again. What is going on? Uh-oh. Hate debugging. I thought the ending was gonna be easy. It seems like life is never easy, is it? So we are approaching the 30-minute mark, I think. What time are we at? Yep, 29:53. So I'll end this here and we're going to fix things in the next one.